Yeah, you want us to just start with just going, yo, yo.
Every show should just start with us being like, yo, yo.
I'm totally down with this.
There should be a way for people to know that you're John and I'm Alex. But
well, they can tell the difference between our voices, right? Oh, but we can tell.
They don't even know. They don't even know.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, like you don't necessarily sound like an Alex, and I don't necessarily sound like a. And we also don't call each other by our names during the podcast.
Yeah,
that would be weird.
I think we sound like Alex and John. Those are
you think so? Okay.
Yeah, those names are common AF.
Yeah.
When people say Alex, I don't even look because it's probably somebody right next to me.
Yeah, no, I believe you. Yeah.
There's so many Alexes and Johns. They could be out there doing the same exact podcast.
I wouldn't be surprised. Same exact podcast.
Bitch asses.
To think we might have doppelgangers out there. I really like that.
We probably do. Shit. I met a dude with my same last name.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, that works at my job. And neither of us had ever met another person with that name that wasn't our cousin or some shit.
Oh really? Wait, was he an Alex?
He was Alan. Alan.
No, come on. Come on. Come on. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, right?
There's no way. There's no way. That's kind of nuts.
It's nutty. What else is nutty? Did you see this Reddit post where this dude went hammer on statistically trying to correlate or see if there is a correlation between Harden's performance and the city he's in, their average strip club rating?
No, come on.
Yeah, and he did it super, for the most part, pretty honest to how you would conduct any sort of statistic.
Holy shit! I just found it. It's the third one down on our NBA right now. I analyzed James Harden's performance in every NBA city to see if there's a correlation between his box score and the city's average strip club rating. So
it's brilliant. It's brilliant work.
Let me click on this because I know he does go to a lot of strip clubs.
Yeah, there's a strip club in Houston that retired his jersey.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so the hypothesis is that James Harden's box score declines in cities with high quality strip clubs, assuming that he goes out the night before and then parties too hard. Let's dig into this one.
Yeah, I mean this guy goes a lot into this. He takes some precautions to make sure that he's analyzing as accurately as possible. And the strip club rating is determined by Google reviews. The
first thing I want to know is which city has the most. So it's declines in cities with high quality strip clubs. Okay, so which city has the highest quality strip clubs per capita? It's probably Portland, right?
No, I don't think so.
Portland has the most strip clubs per capita, as I understand it.
Yeah, they probably have the most.
Yeah. But, I just thought by sheer numbers alone, that would mean I guess that means they didn't necessarily have the best.
Yeah, I mean, he's basing it on the first 10 that pop up in each city on Google search and their average Google review rating.
So Miami's at the top of the list. Or not, well, I don't know if they're at the very top, but they're definitely They're a top 10 strip club city, I would think.
Yeah, I think according to what I read here, Miami is the number one and Toronto is dead last.
That makes complete sense.
Well, like, you know, according to the way he figured it out with the Google reviews, one of the interesting facts he put is Salt Lake City is third ranked. So that tells you, you know, all of this information is super duper contingent on these like Google review stats, which are probably a little wonky because who goes to a strip club and then rates it on Google?
Actually, I have one answer to that question. James Harden. Yeah, that's I mean, it's still interesting. I mean, I like when somebody just takes like nonsense research and just kind of applies it to, you know, actual real life, real life scenarios like this.
Yeah.
Because I mean, most likely if he plays like shit, it could be due to a number of reasons, right? You could also just straight up look at the guy who's defending him that night. So,
yeah,
all things being equal.
So this Redditor is a Rockets fan. His name is Angry Centrist. And so he found out some interesting stuff. It's like, you know, he kind of takes some liberties with using the Google reviews. But, I mean, that's probably the only way that you're going to be able to do this without, I don't know, like asking actual people who are at strip clubs.
That's fair.
There's a 45% correlation coefficient. So like that means that's how much of a correlation there is with the quality of a strip club and then his like subpar performance.
45%.
Yeah. Overall, he found that his performance is 20% predictable based on the quality of a city strip clubs.
Okay, so that's low.
Yeah.
It's low. Yeah. Okay.
We're coming in pretty low, but
yeah.
But I do think that he found. I still think it's significant, though. Like,
okay.
Like, I would be curious to see if this same dude would run these same numbers with a few other players, so we can get some like a control group or something. You know what I mean? Like, because I feel like it, even though it's small, it still might be significant. I don't know if he linked to. Oh, yes, he did. I want to see like the ranking of the strip clubs. I don't know if we've seen if we have access to that. Oh wow, dude, this guy went ham. He has like a Google document.
Yep.
It's insane.
I'm looking at the screenshots and everything. Yeah, shout out to
fucking angry centrist.
You angry centrist. Apparently a gentleman who is really not happy that Hillary lost and is really going to be unhappy if Joe Biden loses. So, yeah, no credit for all the work here.
His old centrist ass.
Yeah, old centrist ass, man. Take a chance, you prick.
Yeah, for real. We need action, not fucking indecision.
We need action.
But man, he does have a lot of time on his hands. He said he did all these Google searches on his work computer, so that's pretty fun.
That's not good. I need one of those jobs, obviously, but
yeah, for real, seriously. But man, quality work. This is one of the dopest things I've ever seen on our NBA. He deserves all credit for this.
He said he made 30 plus searches for strip clubs on his work CPU. That is a bold move, sir. Like that is very far from centrist. I mean, that's very extreme right there.
Yeah, he's taking that hit for all of our NBA.
He really is. Like, imagine if he applied all that same energy to actually doing his job.
That's probably why he has this time on his hands.
It's true.
He probably does have a dope job where he does whatever the fuck he's doing here.
he probably could work for an NBA team doing all these kinds of, like, this is what analytics is.
I wouldn't take it that far. I wouldn't take it that far.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's too ridiculous.
The premise of it all being ridiculous is like, that's fine with me, but like I wouldn't say, like, he just showed like just a tiny level above a layman understanding of statistics,
of analytics. Okay, yeah.
Like I feel like the dude himself would probably be like, to work for an actual team is a bit of a stretch. Like that's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to downplay.
Are you saying I went too far?
What's going down with the Celtics lately?
I mean, they are sitting alone at the top of the Eastern Conference, only six young games into this NBA season.
Yeah.
So
Put some fucking respect on those little 6 young games.
They could use some goddamn respect, especially since they don't, their supposed starting center isn't really there. They just kind of going with Vanilla Tice and Rob Williams or Lob Williams or the Time Lord if you're into that.
So so Canner isn't playing?
Canner hasn't played yet, yeah. And
what?
so
he hasn't played not one time yet?
No, it's been a combination of Daniel Vanilla Tice.
Okay.
And of course the Time Lord. Yeah.
Oh, I feel good about this.
I feel great about it. And plus they throw
good.
And they throw Marcus Smart sometimes in there who actually I saw
that's wacky.
It is wacky, but I just saw a serious post where they showed how other players fare against him, like when they put like when they make him guard a center. So when he's guarding like Kevin Love, he's like in these first 6 games, they showed what happens when Marcus Smart has to guard somebody that's like a power forward or a center, and their numbers dip dramatically.
Ooh, okay.
Like good players too, right? Like he's had to guard. Simmons. I was gonna say Ben Simmons, but that's a guy he can. That isn't too wacky, really. But someone like Kevin Love, who's like one of the only 2 guys on Cleveland right now that is like actually performing, him and Tristan Thompson, like they put Marcus Smart on him, and they looked at like the minutes where Marcus Smart was guarding Kevin Love, and Kevin Love's numbers dipped dramatically. He's like a minus, in the plus minus category, he comes out negative. But only for that time when Marcus Smart is guarding him, right?
Yeah.
So, but it's pretty interesting.
Nice little breakdown there.
Yeah.
No, that is interesting. That is interesting.
Yeah. So somebody, I think it was on Twitter where I saw that, where somebody broke down the minutes where he's guarding somebody that's significantly taller and stronger than him, and how he's able to handle it defensively. And then at the end, it's like, this man is a point guard and he's doing this. So it's I mean, we all kind of knew that he's pretty good at defense, but when you start to break down little things like that, you're like, oh, okay, I see why they're paying him what they pay him, type of a thing.
Yeah.
So,
I think what it is that like positions matter less. Like when you have a dude who plays defense like Marcus Smart, like I think at that point, like I'm pretty sure most humans, they would not want to go up against Marcus Smart, like in a situation where he is actively trying to stop them from doing what they're doing. Yeah.
Like he could play defense against you in any form of a line of work. You know what I mean? Like if you're and you just wouldn't get anything done all day.
Yeah. You work at like a copy and print place and he's just standing by the machine. Just fucking boxing you out and shit. Like you can't get any of your work done because he's just
he's one of those guys that like hits reply all to like the emails and everything like that. You know what I mean? Shares them with everybody.
He's like the kid in the class that like asked the teacher like a personal question. So then they start talking a lot, and then and then you're watching the clock and like the time is just ticking, and then there's just not enough time to continue the lesson. Like
it's
like an 8-second violation.
You both hate to see it and love to see it, because if you're like, I hate this fucking dude, if you're like the nerd, But then, like, if you're just trying to get out of this class, like, oh, thank you for getting the teacher talking about, fucking surfing.
Yeah.
Like, when I took Spanish 2 in high school, like, all we had to do, like, it was a white guy that taught it, right? Super white guy. His name was like Mr. Morgan. And like
Mr. Brad.
Yeah. Mr. Brad. And Mr. Brad would basically he learned Spanish by just living in the Caribbean, right? Like he didn't like take any like formal classes or anything. He just learned it from living there. Swear to God, the total white guy move, right? Like he basically his white privilege is how he got a teaching position. But the other so like because I lived like on the east coast of Florida when I was in high school, like there was the beachside kids, and you'd have a class with the beachside kids, and they were like, dude, like just get this guy talking about surfing, dude. And so they'd get him talking about surfing, and the whole class would go by, and all he did was talk to you about like waves and breaks and all kinds of shit, and like nobody learned any goddamn Spanish in there. It's amazing. It's amazing. And turns out, I just found out recently he got arrested for growing some weed in his garage. So,
damn.
Yeah.
Well, actually, on that one,
yeah,
like surfing guy,
yeah,
teacher guy, like he should be able to grow his weed in his little garage.
Oh yes.
Like,
oh no, I'm totally for that. I just thought it was like, it's a bold move when you live in Florida.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that plus I think it totally solidifies your like observation on
it
who
fits.
He is.
Yeah,
like,
it fits. White privileged dude gets a job as Spanish teacher, just learned it by accident from living in Puerto Rico.
From permanent vacation.
Permanent vacation.
It's like I suffer from permanent vacations. Like what are like the symptoms or whatever? It's like, oh, you get a job.
A job where you teach people. Oh man. That's amazing. Mr. Brad, what are your qualifications for being a Spanish teacher at Melbourne High School? Bro, like I went and took a vacation there once, totally learned the whole damn language, dude.
I got like a pretty gnarly like indica in my garage right now, bro.
Like hired. Amazing. Yeah, so that's Marcus Smart.
No, Marcus Smart is the surfer kid.
Oh, he's the surfer kid in the class. That's right. Yeah,
yeah.
I totally ruined the analogy there. Yeah, he's the surfer kid in the class because he knows. Yeah, he's the glue that holds everything together. He's that savior when you need him.
Yeah.
I think that's funny that like that's how white guys get jobs. They go on vacation, learn a skill, come back and just fall ass backwards into it. Yeah.
Okay, so we got Marcus Smart playing some minutes at center. That's an interesting
basically. Yeah.
That I didn't know about that because I haven't really been watching them as much.
Yeah.
I know Kemba, he had like a couple stumbles in the beginning, but like he seems pretty nice now. He's pretty comfy.
I love him. I mean, he's such like, oh man, and like clear example of like the difference. People keep doing this, and I wish they would just stop bringing up Kyrie at all. But there's going to be constant comparisons. Like if the Celtics underperform or overperform, they're going to say, "How is Kemba compared to Kyrie?" Right? So this happened. The game winner that Tatum had the other night. Basically, it's the same play that they ran in Orlando last year, where Tatum took that same type of shot and missed it, right? And when he missed the one in Orlando, Kyrie ran up and started. He started getting mad at, I think, Horford and Hayward.
Yeah, Kyrie was all pissed about it. He wanted
the play to go differently and basically had the ball in his hands at the end. So he ran up,
my turn. I wanted to do it.
Exactly right. And so they show the post-game thing where they're like talking to Tatum after this game this year where he hit the game winner. And Kemba comes up behind him and he's like, yeah, go get him, Killa, go get him. And everybody's like, see the difference between these 2 points? Yeah. And they're doing the comparisons. Yeah. He's a more team. He's a more team friendly guy, obviously. So
You know what I like about you? You support me in a way that she never did.
She never did. uh, and yeah, so that's what's happening there. And are you hearing all this talk now that's coming in? Well, okay, so since we're on Kyrie, now he's being moody with the Nets, apparently.
Yeah, that was something I wanted to talk about the last time, and I forgot. Like,
for sure.
I feel like the entire reaction to that article or whatever the fuck it was, I'm pretty sure it was just an article. I think that was like overblown. I think it was Jackie McMullen. I think like her choice of words for the most part is what everyone was hanging on, because in context, when you look at all of it in its entirety, I don't think it warrants the way that people responded to the little like sound bites, the little tidbits, like
Sure. Do you think we're looking for him to be a moody guy in Brooklyn too? Like we're looking for things to just pick on him about? Or do you think he's actually, I mean,
Well, me personally, I think the Celtics fans absolutely would look for that, just because it's cathartic almost with all of the expectation that was there while he was in Boston, to then see him in Brooklyn, and that it would be cathartic for the Celtics fans to see that and be like, see what I'm saying? Like,
yes. Especially since we spent a lot. Well, I say we. I don't know if I did it, but like spent a lot of time like defending him. Like when everybody said, when all the other fans of other teams were saying he was going to leave, like Knicks fans were saying it. Knicks fans are just most ridiculous people on Twitter, anyways. But like they kept saying Kyrie's going to leave. Kyrie's going to leave. We were just like, come on, he's not going to leave. He literally said, in a game in the preseason or at the beginning of the last year, like he wants to re-sign in Boston. So, you guys are being ridiculous. And then of course he leaves. And now I feel like maybe they're looking for things to say like, yeah, see, we knew all along he was just a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Well, Knicks fans are fucking ridiculous.
They are ridiculous.
They thought they were going to get KD and Durant, and their team made a ridiculous trade when they traded Porzingis for basically space, like almost nothing. And then it was all like, it's because they're going to get them. It's so like beautifully ironic that like then they went to the Nets. And the Knicks just got like a little like motley crew of dudes, but yeah, like I think for Boston fans it would be a little cathartic to be like, oh shit, like it's only 5 games and Kyrie's already like causing trouble over there.
Yeah,
and Jackie McMullen, I love everything that she does. Like I think she's great, but she's a Celtics fan. So I feel like like that right there to me is like, I see what's going on here.
Bias reporting.
Well, not necessarily. I don't want to say it's like, because like I said earlier, I think it got overblown and like take it out of context, but like it doesn't help her case that she's a Celtics fan.
Yeah.
And the nature of that article or whatever. So like that being said though, like more importantly, one thing I was thinking about when I was reading that, like if let's say like that all is real and it's like an issue with him, at what point do we need to like go from sizing him and shit and switch to like, oh for shit, like does he need help, like
and that's the tricky part there, because if he has a mental health problem, like that's serious, right? Like he needs to seek out help. He needs to, if being in the NBA might only make that worse on him, you know what I mean? If he has actual mental health issues. I personally, I don't know him, so how would I know? I don't think he has any mental health problems. I think he's just a quirky guy, and that's that. But there's a lot of there's a lot of that talk though, saying he just has, that he gets on the plane and doesn't talk to anybody. You know what I mean? And just he's not really being much of a team player right now, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, they are 3-4, 7 games in, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. You know what I mean? But yeah, and even KD says, like, I knew he was like that, and I wanted to play with him anyways.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. KD like referred to him as an artist. He was but KD, he's an artist. You gotta leave him alone sometimes.
Yeah, but KD has almost the same personality, kind of. Like he's a little like moody and like very sensitive himself.
Moody booty.
Yeah. So I mean, he's gonna defend Kyrie anyways, and I don't know. It's just, and then there was like I saw some more talk about how like after they won the championship, Cleveland, when they beat Golden State. Like he went super unhappy after that, and I'm like, really? Like he made like the biggest 3-pointer of his life in that series, and like I just don't get it. Like maybe there's something wrong with him. I don't know.
I could see it. Like I could see it for, well, number one, if he has like an actual mental health condition, then sometimes those things aren't like super clear cut. And like this whole situation could be like, it's almost like when a dude has like one of those heart conditions and it's like all of a sudden it's just like so-and-so is going to miss the remainder of the season because they had to get fucking heart surgery because like they just stumbled upon it in like regular team doctor shit. They're like, oh, fuck, you got this crazy heart thing. Like Shaq's son, Sharif O'Neal, had to miss his last season of basketball because they discovered an issue with his heart. And sometimes those things like just pop up. I feel like mental health is no different. Like this dude is obviously functional and he's like a superstar athlete, but maybe he wasn't always in these scenarios to bring his mental health issues like to the forefront, and like all of a sudden like he is, and it's like the more you analyze it, it's like, oh shit, maybe this dude just needs to like see a therapist or something, like Ron Artest or some shit. Like,
oh yeah, good example.
But they're not to say that they're similar in any way, because Ron Artest, that shit is a whole different issue. Like Kyrie's not beating the shit out of people or anything.
That's fair. Yeah.
But no, I mean, I think that's a pretty relevant aspect to it all that like shouldn't go unnoticed.
I mean, so how soon do you think we're going to start seeing players on the injury report for load management for their mental health?
I don't think that that's very likely. And the interesting thing about that though is I think that would be overall beneficial just to open up that as a discussion.
Sure.
Because think about somebody like Royce White. Do you remember Royce White?
I'm going to refresh myself while you talk about that subject.
Yeah. If that's his name and I'm getting it right, Royce White was like, I want to say like a top 3 projected draft pick.
Okay.
This man, he looked like LeBron, like in college, and he clearly could ball. Like I was super excited to see like what he would do in the NBA. And then when he was drafted, he got drafted. I believe his draft stock went way low because in the whole pre-draft process, it was found out that he has anxiety. Basically, when it comes to flying. Like he's afraid.
Oh my gosh, I do remember this now. Now that you're saying it, yeah, I do remember. Okay.
And it was like any team that drafted him had to understand that this dude has issues with flying, which could really fuck up. You got to fly. These guys are, if anything, these guys are flying around traveling too much. Like
truth, yeah.
to the point of like sleep deprivation and shit. But speaking of load management, you know, if mental health got incorporated into that, like, do I think that would happen anytime soon? Like, nah.
No.
But I think even considering that would be like great, because when you think of a dude like Royce White, then that would be a way to enter. That would be a way for him to play and have and like frame it in such a way, you know what I mean, that's easily digestible to everyone, as everyone has kind of just absorbed this whole load management concept, like to apply it to mental health would kind of take care of some of the legwork of trying to explain to people why you would want this dude to play for you, but sometimes he can't play. You know.
Damn, so I'm seeing pictures of this guy in like a Rockets jersey, a Sixers jersey. So he's played for teams before. I mean, he was drafted. So he was drafted just outside of like the lottery. So he's like the 16th pick in the first round. And so, but he's played in the NBA. So how did he get over his like flying anxiety? Like he must have flown at some. Did he just like knock himself out, or like what did he do?
I don't know what his solution was, and I also think like him as a player could warrant an entire episode, just because like in a perfect world, I would love for everything I just said to be the story on him.
Okay, yeah.
But there's not. He's a real person, and like there's more to it, and he kind of like, I can't say that he behaved like perfectly or whatever, you know, in representing this issue, like and he like tried, but I think the reason he's not in the NBA is partially because of himself, you know what I mean.
He has stated that he said recently he would play in the NBA for free. Yeah, that's sad. That is super sad.
I mean, it's sad for a person of his abilities.
Yeah.
I mean, would you play in the NBA for free? So,
Fuck no. Fuck no.
Are you kidding me? You get to suit up in the starting lineup for the Celtics this week for one game, and they're not going to pay you shit. And you don't have to pay anything. You wouldn't do that.
Oh, you know. God damn it. Yeah, when you put it like that, I mean, shit. Yeah,
I'm playing all 82 for the Heat, baby. I'm going to be.
Well, that's more up to them than it is to you.
Fucking Russell Westbrook's plus minus 46. I'm coming for fucking 106. Let's go. Minus 106.
I guess when you put it like that, that's a different, yeah. But see, when you asked me that question, I was thinking to myself, they make so much goddamn money. They can afford to pay me something, right? Like, you know. So I was kind of being like, you know.
Yeah, see, if you're him, like if you're that ability.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah. If you're someone with the ability to be in the NBA right now and the NBA doesn't want you, if some team said you can play here, but we're not going to pay you, you'd be like, well, shit. Yeah, I'd like to do anything in the NBA. Yeah. That's a good point. Okay. You came at it from like a totally like more positive point of view than I did.
Well, for me, if I get in the game, like I'm fouling out like in record time, like because I'm going to try to take smart fouls, you know, that will help the flow of the game.
Okay.
But I also know that that's my only chance. That's my only chance, like to impact the game. Yes. There's nothing else that I could do that would impact the game. So like I'm fouling out in like a minute.
Like, you know what? Okay. That's interesting that you went that way with it. I have told people before. I think you and I have had this discussion before.
Hell no, you can't. No, you can't.
Do you know what I'm going to say? You know what I'm going to ask?
Yeah, you can't do it.
1 point. You don't think you could score 1 point in an NBA game?
Nah, dude.
If you played 48 minutes, you couldn't like drive and get fouled and maybe make one free throw.
I think the only way I think it would take a concerted effort from all of the human beings on the court, including the refs. Everyone would have to be like, let's get this guy a point. Because There's just no. These guys work too hard. Like there's no way
to let like 5'9" Alex actually get any point. Yeah.
Think about like some G League guy out there on a 2-way contract that he's an offensive or he's a defensive specialist. That's all he does. He's like fucking.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know what I mean? Like, he's not letting you score, nothing.
He would swat your shit into the next city, dude. He would not give a fuck.
He'll fucking somehow get you to put the ball in his team's basket.
Your luck, Royce White would be guarding you. Yeah, the more I don't know why I used to think that I could score at least 1 point in an NBA. I just feel like I could. If you just gave me the ball like once, I would just run as hard as I fucking could at the basket and try to get fouled. But I feel like they would be like just swat it away without even touching me, and whatever. That would be that.
Yeah, they would probably just stand straight up with their arms up and do nothing, and you would just fucking crumble into a little pile on the ground, and the ball would just move like 6 inches above wherever you left it. Like
I don't even know why I think I would get that far to that close to the hoop. Like if I caught the ball at the 3-point line, it's getting poked away from me really quick from the person who's defending me. Yeah,
I fuck with your energy though. I feel your energy.
Yeah. I know.
I believe in my heart, like I feel that way.
Yeah,
but like my brain is like, nah, bruh. Like Marcus Smart is gonna probably like tear my ACL or some shit like in 2 seconds.
You would leave like Paul Pierce in the NBA Finals, like on a goddamn stretcher with like shit in your pants.
Yeah,
fucking. It's funny. I had this same type of discussion with like these dudes that I know. These dudes that I know that play tennis, right? And we got, I don't know how we got to talking about, they were like, we were talking about like who were the better athletes and all that kind of stuff. And I said, I bet if you put 5 NBA players up against 5 tennis players, the tennis players wouldn't score 1 point at all. Like that's what I said as an NBA fan. Like I'm a homer, right? Like I think the tennis players wouldn't score any points. They were like, come on, these guys are athletes. And I'm like,
in what sport though? What sport are they playing? Basketball.
Yeah,
oh hell no. Yeah,
the tennis players aren't points. Okay, so you're on my side. Thank you.
Yeah.
This was like 20 years ago that I was having this argument with these buddies, and they were like, come on, they're tennis players. They're athletes. They can get some points. I'm like, no, they can't. No. They're going to go out there having never dribbled a basketball in their life. So it's going to get poked away every single time they try to dribble. They're going to shoot. They're going to do that weird shooting style where the guys are shooting with like 2 hands and both their hands are behind the ball and it looks ridiculous. And and it's just going to get swatted and they're done for. They're not going to score at all. And they're like, well, they're going to get fouled, right? I'm like, no, they're not even going to foul them. You don't even have to foul them. Let them make their own mistakes.
Yeah, they're first of all, exactly. Their technique is going to be so trash that like you wouldn't have to foul them. You could just let them do what they
fuck up. Yeah, they're gonna fuck up,
and they're never going to be able to do it at the same rate as like the NBA guys, right?
Yeah.
The only thing that a group of tennis dudes could do, I would think, or gals, would be like fast break. Like you ever go to the park and play or some shit?
Sure.
And like there's a team of dudes that like aren't necessarily as skilled as some of the other players, but they're all fit and just running the break. And like you could win a lot like that. Just running the break.
Just being in shape. Yeah, for sure.
Just running people off the court.
That's possible to do.
And it's not that hard to make a layup, like, you know what I mean? Like, eventually you fuck up a couple times, like you're just gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna physically put this in here, like I'm gonna put this in. So I think they would have some fast break points, and easy baskets or whatever like that. But that's gonna be it, and like that's gonna be also very rare.
Yes, like, very hard to come by. Like, especially with these guys, like the NBA has like chase down blocks are a thing that happens more frequently now. So, and I think that's sort of like the LeBron effect. So, I mean, those guys running these tennis players trying to run the NBA guys out of the building, like just going to get their layups like swatted, just gone. And they're not even going to like swat them like into the stands where it goes out of bounds and you can at least still have possession. Like they're gonna catch it in the air. You know what I mean? Like pin it against the backboard and then like grab it and come down. And
I don't know about these tennis dudes like defense.
oh, it's suspect. You know it's suspect.
Because they are very agile and they have the lateral movement. Like
That's
you have
true.
to.
They
That's
are
a
good
big-
side to side. Yeah.
that's a huge thing you need to have.
Yes.
But like, how many times does the ball coming at you change direction like while it's coming at you? You know what I mean? It doesn't really. Like maybe if it hits the ground, but you could think about that ahead.
You talking about the tennis ball?
Yeah, like if you're
Oh,
experienced
okay,
and
yeah.
shit, and you see the ball coming and it's going to hit the ground, you would probably have, you know, at least a significant amount of information, like forethought to be like, okay, it's going to bounce this way or
Yes.
whatever. You know what I mean?
Yes. Mhm.
But other than that, the tennis ball isn't going to fucking cross you up. Like,
That's exactly where I was going to go next. The crossover is just going to kill them every time.
yeah.
They're going to be working. They're going to be so over eager on defense, and these guys are so,
Exactly.
and they're going to be falling on their ass, like looking,
Yep.
caught looking. Ugh, it's going to be so bad.
Yeah, sometimes like that lateral quickness can be a disadvantage.
Yes.
Because if you're moving too much, then it's easier for somebody with a tight handle to like manipulate you.
For sure.
They'll make you move because they know you're gonna move. Like sometimes some big ass dude just chilling like Jokic or like Boris Diaw is almost like annoying for a guy with a good handle because they're like, fuck, I just gotta run like far outside of your wingspan and jump reach. Like or I just gotta shoot a jump shot because you're clearly gonna let me do this.
Did you see the game that Houston just had against Brooklyn where like James Harden crossed up Kyrie Irving? Kyrie Irving is one of the best crossover guys in the league, and so is James Harden. They're basically like I'd say top 5 crossover guys in the league, and even they aren't that good at defending it, and even they still fall for it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So I mean, he made Kyrie look like he made him miss. Like he went right by him. It was kind of nuts. I was a little surprised. I mean, Kyrie's not known for his defense, but still, like he knows what Harden's going to try and do to him. Like he knows he knows how crossovers go. So and even he can't stop it. So
yeah, I think both of those guys, if they had to play 1-on-1, they would just cross the shit out of each other over and over again. Like,
it would be awesome to watch.
Neither of them could stop each other. Like they're just too good with the handle.
It would be 145 to 144, like point wise.
Yeah.
So
it would be like 7-6 because like someone would sprain an ankle.
It's true, or get their ankle broke. Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah. So to conclude, tennis is whack.
Oh man, no. I mean, I fuck with tennis. I think tennis is cool, but like, but come on now, like,
yeah, come on.
There's some other things you got to do, like to be on the NBA court. That's what I was asking. Like, what sport? It's like, some of those tennis skills could prepare them, but you still,
sure.
It's pretty obvious. Like when you go and play basketball with somebody who's never played basketball, there's some simple things that you'll just obviously see is just goofy with them,
Yeah, they tend to like stand still and like not move at all, which is okay. Like even in the NBA that happens, but like you have to move. Like you have to create space for the other guys on the floor. Like if you see one of your guys coming,
if you're on offense and you don't have the ball.
Exactly. Yeah, you have to like move out of the
100,
way of the guys that have the ball or are also moving and running plays. They just kind of like stand there. So yeah. So take that, people who don't play basketball regularly and try to get on the court and have fun.
Move without the ball. Fucking set a screen.
Which, we're making fun, but like there are dudes in the NBA that still don't move without the ball. So yeah.
Yes, this has been lovely. It's been another edition of the Free Ballers.
Yeah, rate John and Alex. Don't rate the Free Ballers. Rate John and Alex 5 stars. Yummy.
Yeah, honestly, fuck that. Just rate yourself. Rate yourself 5 stars.
I like that. Rate your life 5 stars.
Yeah, no, actually, for real though, just rate the podcast 5 stars. Nobody cares if you rate yourself.
And then go out and live a 5-star life. God damn it.
Yeah, shout out to 5-Star Pizza in Gainesville.
Oh, fucking 5-star. Open till 4 a.m. I love it.
Yeah, so many memories.